Now that I have my IA1 reteach plan here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have all my resources gathered. I've got my IA1 data analysis and I've got my rapid response document. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go back to my data analysis. And I remember from it, really my causes of the revolution was my weakest spot. I noticed we're at about 24%, 26, pretty low. And then I definitely remember our short constructed responses weren't great. So those are probably the two I'm going to hit when it comes to reteaching after Thanksgiving. So let's go ahead and just look first at what is in this calendar part. I notice it has the teaks, so causes of the revolution is pretty much going to be anchored in 4A, anything like that. So let's see what I can find for 4A. I notice in the green one, it just gives me a full day reteach, and honestly, I think it'd be great just to pause and select it. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this whole day. I like the idea of the do now, then doing a direct reteach on those new item types just to get that skill. And then more importantly, there's this timeline activity that I think would really be good for students to practice manipulating and putting them in order just to kind of remind themselves. So on my plan, I'm going to take the whole thing and just copy it there because I really like that one. Now let's see what else is just kind of available. And I remember I'm targeting the 4A causes of the revolution, and then maybe anything relating to that short constructed response because we really struggled to do the full sentences explaining. So let's look at Tuesday. We were actually really good in self-government, so I'm not going to do the do now. I noticed it was talking about annotations and marking the text, and I see this suggestion about moving all my documents to online. And I think that might be a really good thing to start doing and establishing after Thanksgiving, moving my Google Docs online and modeling how to highlight with comments, things like that. So I'm just going to copy that one and put it on here because I know when I do my think along now for the first paragraph, I've got to do that. And then this says I could do an SCR exit ticket number 4. It's telling me to reduce the discussion and then actually look at some other responses, make time for that to do feedback. I think that's a great follow up to what we did the day before. So I'm going to go ahead and take that as well. So now I know when I'm going to teach on Tuesday the 29th, kind of where I need to start making those adjustments in my lesson plans. I still really need to hit 4A though. I know we're reteaching it here, but where else can I fit it in? Um, Here it says 4A, it talks about the proclamation of 1763. That was right here at 45%, so I'm pretty good there. I'm not too worried about them not knowing the proclamation line. But when I get to here, this do now, it talks about focusing on the taxation events and protests. So I definitely want to hit that. So I'm going to take the do now where it tells me to replace it with the slides and it gives me advice on how to make a connection to what I'm going to teach that day. I've already introduced it, so I might still focus on how to do it. But then I noticed down here it says small group remediation time where I can hit 4A or 4C, and it's telling me that I should probably pull some small groups. So let's go see what they have I could do during small group time for the causes of the American Revolution. I see where it says flex day intervention. I can do the IXL thing. It would be pretty short because our campus doesn't pay for it, but let me see what the taxes one looks like. Oh, so it gives an explanation. It's in a little game. It practices with the item type. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put this link on my plan so I know. And I'm just going to put the note. During inquiry group time, pool reteach group, and have them do this. So similar to what it said on the calendar up here, I'm then going to, after the first two paragraphs, have that other group focus on doing this instead. and that will help reteach it. So I would keep doing that, going through each day and looking at where I can include some of these suggestions or just other reteach methods based on my own data to use the rapid response document.